Treatment Collective vlog. Today I'm going to be talking a little bit about how to find the best trauma treatment trainings for yourself. So I wanted to give you a couple of tips, and I'm going to do it in a two-part series. Today we're going to be talking about your ideal client and finding your ideal client and using that to be able to help you to find the best trainings. So when you think about trauma trainings, there are tons of trauma trainings out there. They are everywhere. And when you look around each corner, there's a new training coming out or a new opportunity to learn a little bit more about trauma and treating trauma. So when you think about that, it's like, how do I begin to narrow down and how do I begin to fund all of these trainings that are coming at me? Because as we move into becoming more and more trauma informed, there are more and more opportunities to grow your skill set. When I was coming up and kind of creating my career and developing my career, I was taking all kinds of trainings. Pretty much anything that passed by, anything that was coming or going, I took it. But as I continued on, I learned that it was a way that I could narrow that down and I could start to begin to hone in. And the first thing I identified was what my ideal client, who is my ideal client? We call it a client avatar as well. And I began to build out this profile of who do I like to work with? Who gives me life? Who do I enjoy being in the room with? Who do I enjoy learning, treating and learning from and growing from and developing my skills, but also being able to give to them. And so that became my ideal client. And I began to learn about what their socioeconomic status was. I began to learn about were they employed, unemployed, did they have families, everything I could. I created a profile around this ideal client. I even gave them a name. And so when I started to understand them, it gave me a better sense of what I needed and where I needed to focus my energy and develop my skills. So then I started to niche within a niche. And you'll hear me talk about that sometimes, niching within a niche. So trauma treatment is a niche within mental health. But then you have to niche within that niche. So you can't just be a trauma treatment professional because there's tons of trauma treatments. There's tons of things that you can do with that. So then you have to begin to figure out, okay, what type of trauma do I like to work with? So specifically for me, I enjoy working with childhood trauma or developmental trauma. And I specifically like working with women who are between the ages of 30 and 40. So that's my ideal client. Does that mean I don't work with other people? No, that doesn't mean that. It just means that that's my ideal client. So when I start to understand that and I have that niche within a niche, then I can start narrowing in on my trainings and I can start thinking, okay, what does my ideal client need? What types of trainings do I need to best meet their needs? And when I identify their needs, I then am able to look at the different trainings that are being offered and kind of think through, okay, is this something that I can use with my ideal client? Is this something that's really going to be helpful for them? And the more and more I use that to narrow down the list, the narrower the list becomes, because then I'm able to identify those trainings that are really beneficial for me. So those are some things that you can do and think about as you are trying to find the best trauma treatment trainings out there. Again, you want to create your ideal client or your client avatar. Then you want to narrow in on your niche and really begin to hone in on what is your niche within trauma treatment. And then you want to be able to take that niche and that ideal client and start to build in on what types of trainings do I need? What are the needs of my ideal client and how can I meet those needs with these specific trainings? I also have in my blog, I have two blogs that I would recommend that you read if you want to learn a little bit more about this. One is called Niching Within Your Trauma Treatment Niche. So niching within your trauma treatment niche. And then the other one is called The Benefits of a Client Avatar in your trauma treatment journey. So I'm going to put the links down in the comment section below so that you will be able to click on those and read a little bit more. Stay tuned for part 2 and we will continue to talk about this topic. Have a great day.